Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the you in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Plays and Parlays. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Louisiana T, and Man. And we're going to talk a little bit about this week in sports. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Wonderful.
Okay. I mean, it's the start of the NFL preseason right now. I know we've been talking football a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff's going on right now. You know what I mean? A lot of great players are starting to get their legs underneath them. You know me. You guys know me personally. I want to start with the Shedeur Sanders saga right now because tomorrow or today, Shedeur Sanders is going to be starting for the Cleveland Browns. No one thought this was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how you guys feel about him. I feel like LT may not like Shedeur so much, but but me personally, I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan. You know, I think he's going to do great, but I'm going to let you guys start the form off. What do you guys think about this? You think this was a good move by the Cleveland Browns to allow Shedeur Sanders to start the very first preseason game? LT.
Yes, I think it was very smart for them to start the first game. Okay, it goes into what we've been talking about, or at least what I have. And first of all, I will say this. I think Shedeur is incredible. All right,
Absolutely.
Fantastic dude. I like the way he plays the game. We'll get into his comparisons later on, I'm sure, as far as who we compare him to now. But I love the move, to be honest. You just announced that he's fourth string, right? You announced that he's going to start. You're doing that for a reason, okay? If you're starting this cat after saying that he's your last quarterback, you're going to trade him. I'm sorry. It's just in the plans right now. I don't know when it's happening or 1 week, 2 weeks from now, whatever. This is a showcase game for Shedeur. Okay. And they're giving him the opportunity to go in there and show everybody what he has to where this team can get something that they need for trading him. Okay. So if he goes out and balls out tomorrow, get ready. Okay. Because it's going to be very interesting. And also look at it from this standpoint. What did what's his name look like over in Indianapolis today for the Colts? Okay,
I know that man. What'd you say? I think you said that he got hurt today.
Anthony Richardson got hurt, and Daniel Jones looked terrible.
So you're in a bad situation. You're in a real bad situation over in the Colts. Okay, as far as quarterback room, you have some other positions that are ready to go. Right, but your quarterback is not ready. Okay, you have a lot of question marks right now. You are already in talks for the trade to happen to you already with the quarterbacks that you had in place, right? With the way it was already set up. Now you've lost that, right? So if Shedeur comes out and plays well tomorrow, get ready for that trade to happen to the Colts because I think it's coming.
I mean, you had a real strong take last week with him too. So I'm gonna take what you say with a lot of weight. You know what I mean? So man, what do you think though?
I think starting him is the only decision you can make because he was put as fourth on the depth chart, but it's just like prove it. I mean, I feel like the Seahawks should have done the same thing. Is put worst quarterback up, and that's what we've been doing. Drew Lock, he's been playing the whole time. He's terrible, and I think Shedeur, if he can just prove a little bit, he don't gotta go too crazy. He just has to be efficient. He has to be the person he's always been. Efficient, smile.
Take care of the ball.
You take care of the ball. You know, just keep them going because Dillon Gabriel is not going to do that for him. And Deshaun Watson, I don't think he's even going to be a factor.
He's not even playing this year. Probably going to get rid of that guy. You know what I mean?
Flacco can't play. Like they can't have him play in the preseason. He's like 50 years old. They gotta wait. So it's either Gabriel or Shedeur. Let Shedeur play because Gabriel has. They've drafted him to be a backup no matter what. No matter what.
Let me say this. I mean, let's start this off. You know what I mean? You know, the correct way, I should say. This is how I feel about the situation. This was to me one of the biggest travesties of justice, allowing Shedeur Sanders to sink to the 5th round when they talked about this kid being a top 5, top 10 pick. Everyone said this. Everyone knew this. I mean, you look at his college career, What other quarterback had more sacks to him? Everyone can say that's a bad thing, which it is. It is a bad thing. He got hurt his first year because he was sacked so much. But at the same time, look at his stats: over 4,000 yards in his I think his senior year that he was playing. The year before, I think he had 35 or 3,800 yards or something like that too. At the same time, I think he had 30 touchdowns or more last year. I mean, come on, with very few interceptions, and this kid's running for his life with no O-line at all. At the same time, no remnants of a running game at all whatsoever. So everyone knows you're going to throw the ball, and they know they can get pressure on you, and you're making plays, and your team still goes 9-4, one game away from being in the college football college football playoffs. Let's be real here. Let's not act like this for us not to see what happened here as like, this is, to me, okay, we can go conspiratorial, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to calm down, allow Shedeur to play tomorrow or today and see what happens. But every analyst has told you he throws a great football. He has great ball placement. I mean, the kid has a good, strong arm. He's durable, and he's also mobile. He's not fast. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say he's outrunning, even most linebackers probably right about now in the NFL. It's a little different situation. He's not super fast, but he's mobile enough to get away and get you some yards if he needs to. He's one of the smartest probably quarterbacks out there. He comes from a line. If you look at who his dad is, at the same time, you got Deion Sanders as his dad. You think his dad's not teaching him, putting in his head what's going on the football field from a young age, so he knows this stuff. And so, I mean, the way they're putting him out there, though, he hasn't played any downs with the first team at all. None, not one. You know what I mean? Not at all. So, I mean, you're putting him out there with partial remnants of your first team. This is what Kevin Stefanski said. Reason I know his name because I watched a lot of Cleveland Browns, news and media, because I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan. They put him out there with remnants of him, but Jerry Jeudy's not going to be playing. I think their number 2 wide receiver is not going to be playing either. So you're putting them against the first team defense of the other team, but you're playing, you know what I mean? But you're not going to really have your first team offense. And I mean, some of them remnants here and there of them, but he hasn't played with these players he's playing with. So it's not, are you setting the kid up to fail? It is what it is, but you want the opportunity, and I'm grateful for the opportunity for him to go out there and try and shine. But that's kind of what I see from the situation.
I still think he'll ball with it, though. I still think he'll ball.
I think he's going to be fine. Look, he's a born winner. Okay, let's say what it is. Okay, everywhere he's been, he's won. Colorado was one of the worst college football teams known to man. Whenever they got there, they turned that around. And I say they because him, his dad, his brother, they brought a lot of players into that, obviously, right? But he was the main factor in that, even before Travis Hunter, let's be honest. So if I'm looking at this from that standpoint, from the winning standpoint, you want that culture, you want that leadership vibe on your team, right? To me, he is a natural leader. Okay, he is the leader. So he can easily be the leader of that football team. The problem is, like I said, you drafted Dillon Gabriel before that. So the team isn't looking at it that way. The players don't look at it that way. You've kind of already ruined that mindset of it, to me, in that regard. Now, if you're looking at it from Joe Flacco, I don't think he's going to have to start over Joe, all right, at this point, obviously, as far as who should start the season. In a perfect world, if you're a smart GM at this point and you have that, if you have that quarterback room, right, Shedeur is your backup. Okay, Shedeur is the number 2 going into the season. Joe Flacco is number 1, and Dillon Gabriel is your number 3. Okay, that's if you're a GM.
What do you think you gain from that rotation? I mean, I understand Joe. I mean, don't get me wrong. Joe Flacco is a serviceable quarterback, especially right now. He has a great arm. He's still intelligent enough to make the plays. But you know that he's not the quarterback of your future. You're not getting any. I mean, the only thing you're getting is like you're allowing your veterans to understand that, hey, we're not just throwing the season completely away. But at the same time, what do you go ahead.
That's a great question and fair one, to be honest with you. If you look at the things that we've said in the past, right, think about the things that he needed to improve on Shedeur's side, right? He holds on to the ball a little bit too long. You can't do that in the pros at all, or you're going to get clocked. Okay, you're going to get clean clocked and hurt very quickly. So in my opinion, I don't think they should really rush him into that until they fix that portion. That's not a hard thing to fix. It's really not, if you look at it. The transition from the college to the pro game, as far as holding on to the football too long, it's a bad excuse for not really drafting somebody, okay? Because it's a real easy thing to fix. You're talking about a quicker step on the drop. You're talking about maybe a shorter step on the delivery. There are little bitty things that you can improve on at the quarterback position to get better at things like that, especially when you're talking about little bitty tweaks, right? He's just not ready for that yet. I think once they do that, he'll be fine. And that doesn't take a full season. And that's what I mean when I say if you start him off being the backup, he'll be ready to go by game 6, game 7 at that point, right? But you have Joe Flacco in there while he can take those hits because he's 40 years old, man. While he takes the hits, while his arm can stay healthy, while he can stay healthy, period, right? Those 6 to 7 games, he's giving you his all. Then you have that ready guy coming in there for whenever Joe really can't really do that job to that effect anymore, right? Then he's ready to go, and you're not pushing him too early.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, man.
Yeah, they what they're gonna do is just build him. Like, you know, like if they can just build him, like they drafted his backup, they got his veteran, they got the things that a rookie quarterback should have coming into it. Like, you know, like he should not start. His rookie quarterbacks really shouldn't start off the back unless the team.
You don't
is
think so?
Bad. Unless they're
But
that bad.
The team is pretty bad, though. I would think even in Tennessee, I think Cam Ward, you being number 1, I think that should automatically, you should near top 10 QB going.
Nothing backup.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you know,
Levis being out too, but I think he should have started over him anyways, even if he would have been playing. Yeah, I mean, unless Cam Ward just look completely garbage.
The plain fact of the matter, to be honest with you here, and I'm just being very blunt when I say this, the fact that they announced him as the 4th string and are starting him in game 1, that shows you this is a showcase game for him, and they're trying to see if there are going to be any takers after that. You can look at the history of NFL at that point. Whenever you play somebody in this role as a quarterback, I'm telling you, you can go back years if you want to. Whenever they come out and play their last place guy, their last string guy in that first game, and he plays well, that guy gets traded within 1 or 2 preseason games after that.
The reason why I somewhat agree with you is because I think that what's hitting them right now is the media. That's what's really getting them right now, because that's all they talk. I mean, be honest, I watched. The reason why I'm watching anything that got to do with Cleveland is because of this, and all they're talking about on all the, like, you know, I would say radio, but it's really more or less, you know, web. You know what I mean? What social media type deals. That's all they're talking about is Shedeur. Questions every day about your 4th string quarterback. Who gets questions about their 4th string quarterback even your star players are getting questions about it. It has become people, and this is what they'll say. This is why people didn't want to draft them. No, it's not why people didn't want to draft. This has nothing to do with it. Because if you'd been drafted in the correct position, this would not be the case. This is the case because this
we
is
are
what
all
you created.
confused. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, people are like, and then he's actually playing good.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, Cleveland doesn't make any sense right now. You have this kid playing lights out in certain practices, and they're still coming out and saying, "Oh no, Dillon's our guy." How can you say that? Dillon's throwing the ball directly to linebackers, and I'm talking like on a line.
Stefanski wanted Gabriel. The GM wanted Shedeur.
Yeah, that's clear as day.
This is why. And now that it's like you're battling between the GM and the coach, and the owner has to come out and say, "Hey, this wasn't my call. This was this guy's call." You know what I mean?
It's a genius move too in the draft to get him at that point, to be honest with you, because of the fact that, like I said, you're using him for trade bait, but it's genius. You already got the players that you wanted, right? Completely. You already have a quarterback room that's stacked at that point. You bring him in because you know what his value is. You know what everybody has him valued at on the table. He was the number 2, 3, or 4 quarterback, depending on who you are, in the draft last year, right? It's well known. That's Mel Kiper had him as number 2, right behind Cam Ward. So let's be honest. You know where his value is. You know what players you can get for that value. Okay, so if he shows that, they're going to end up getting that from the Colts. I'm telling y'all, it's just happening. Like, it's, the value as a GM. All right.
Colts
so now you have I agree.
Yeah.
And now you're going to have to give something away for getting him, right? And that's the crazy part to me, because you know that he's a late first round, early mid first round, late first round, early second round at the latest quarterback last year. Okay, it depended on trades and all that stuff and who you had him at. I get a lot of people had him in the top 10. I get that. But if you know that that's the value and you got him that late and you know he's not going to be on your board, you know he's not going to be on your final roster, then what are you doing? You're trading him.
I go off the tweet that his dad made some years back when he said, "My kid's not going to play for the Cleveland Browns." To me, that tells the entire story to me. And then the Cleveland Browns draft you. Most people times when they draft a kid, they're going to clap and be like, yeah, we got her. They just sat there. Both of them, Stefanski and the guy, just kind of sat there. And I really think that it's a lot that's into this that we really can't, there's speculation.
Sure.
But the truth of the matter is, everyone knows this kid was already set up to be a top 5 pick, top 10 pick all day. I mean, some people had him above Cam Ward. Some people did, but it is what it is. We're here now. If they were to trade him, I think it would be, the Cleveland fan base would kind of revolt to a degree, but they'll get over it. They'll get over it because they're going to be sorry anyways this year. They're going to be mad. A lot of
those people know that those fans aren't going anywhere. They ain't ever won.
Yeah,
and they
I was
still
about to
got
say,
one of the most faithful fan bases there are. So they're not worried about the fans. I promise you. Promise you.
I mean, it'll be a lot of questions, but it may end up costing people their jobs. I almost feel like, is it something that is Stefanski kind of worried about this? Maybe if he gets if this kid comes here, is that why he was worried about it? But at the same time, he didn't feel like he was high. They had the second pick, like you said, and they didn't even draft Travis Hunter. It's just crazy to me. You didn't even draft Travis Hunter. You had the second pick in the draft. You traded that pick away. I don't understand. But
Travis Hunter would have been great on the Browns, knowing that they have a great cornerback. So he could have been cornerback 2-3 easily without them having any problems on the defense.
Yeah,
they got a good D line, so really the pressure would have been there anyways. Then the offense, it could have just led through Hunter, or he could,
I'm gonna say it. Cleveland is a dumpster fire. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say it the way it is. They are a dumpster fire. They don't know what they're doing as a staff. It's being shown clearly at this point.
Hopefully he takes it and he does well in the game. We'll let you guys know further on that too. But off this right here, let's leads right into our next segue, which we're going to talk about the rookies this year.
Yep.
I mean, there's an awful lot of rookies that we've talked about. We got the Genties out there. You got Travis Hunter, you got Cam Ward, you got a bunch of other guys that are out there looking pretty decent. I know we had talked about a few other people too. What do you guys think about the rookies that have come out this year? How do you think that they're going to perform? Who do you think is going to start? Who do you think is going to actually shine? You know what I mean? Man, we'll go with you first.
All right. Well, if I'm gonna talk about Genty right now, because he's playing right now, he three rushes, -1 yards. I think he's gonna have a great year though, but it's a bad matchup. He's going against one of the newest, best D lines in the NFL. Like, we got
who's that? Who's that D line you're talking about?
The Seahawks.
Oh, the Seahawks.
D line is one of the great. Like, like we're gonna be top 5-10 this year for sure. And
okay.
It's just a bad matchup for him. But I think we could see him. He's gonna go over 1,000 his rookie year. I think he's once they get him locked in. But Genty, as long as if the quarterback, Geno Smith, who I know is going to make sure the passing game is right, if he can do good with Brock Bowers, then it's going to open up so much for Genty, because Brock Bowers can block too. A great blocking tight end is the running back's best friend as well. Like,
absolutely,
because he can catch and he can block, and it's just for Genty, it's going to be huge for
him. Who else you got besides Genty?
McMillan on the Panthers. Because not only because McMillan on the Panthers is huge, because he has other receiving partners with him. The receiving core is young and bright. So he's gonna, and he's a big dude. Like, he's gonna be,
he's a big kid.
Yeah, if Bryce Young could lock in with them, because you can't mess up with those options. And then they got a good running back, Jonathan Williams or something like that. They got a lot of young players in that offense.
I think they did a good job drafting receivers in the draft. I think they picked up Jimmy Horn as well, Horn Jr. as well. So they got some good, some solid players for the future. And I think like you said, Bryce Young can do his job and can progress. Where we're kind of seeing him going right now. Even he could kind of be somewhat what CJ Stroud has become. I think they could really do some damage. Maybe not this year, but going to the next year after, they could actually develop into a good team. What do you think? What do you got, LT, as far as rookies?
You know what? I agree with the Genty pick. I think that's probably an easy early pick for rookie of the year, in my opinion, just because he's going to touch the ball a lot. He's got Geno. I understand that, but they're going to run the ball a lot. Okay, let's be honest. He's going to have a lot of touches, so I feel like he's going to have the biggest impact quickly. Now, I do have kind of a dark horse from this last draft would be LeJohntay Wester.
Okay.
I like
LeJohntay,
him, man. I like him.
Colorado kid.
He at around round 6, pick 203. I mean, look, plays for Baltimore, but just balled out in his first game. Really, a return touchdown for 87 yards, 2 for 3 on his targets, 41 yards. I mean, listen, he's creating playing time for himself, right?
Yeah.
He's already made the roster just by tonight's game, in my opinion. Like as a special teamer, and that's going to get him snaps at receiver. I think he's going to have a significant impact pretty quickly based on what you're seeing from him. And he's got speed, man. And he has great vision. I like it. I think he's a player to watch for the future, man. I really do.
I want to say the kid came. I want to say it was FAMU or something like that. He played for before he went to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
One of those smaller schools like that. And then Shedeur went out and picked him up and picked up Will Shepherd as well. They got a lot of kids. I think Colorado, the Buffaloes had the most wide receivers chosen in the draft. I think they had three other wide receivers, 3 other 4 top wide receivers chosen in the draft. LeJohntay, that's a good pick right there, LeJohntay Wester. He's a great possession receiver, but he's also got speed, man. He's also got speed. That kid's got a lot of speed. He can catch the ball in traffic. He's gonna get loose for a lot of big plays, man. It's crazy that he came out and produced like he did today. 80-yard
quick
kickoff return,
quick like that. You're talking about game 1 going in there and making a significant impact. This isn't like he had to wait. I'm talking quickly. He just made a fan base. He ain't going nowhere. He solidified himself.
Only thing bad about Rookie of the Year for him is that it's a running team. Like, his stats aren't going to be up and up and up.
No.
But he's, when it comes to playoffs, like when they need just those quick plays, those boom, 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 he's gonna be a player that everybody remembers.
When it comes to impact, I think he's going to be up there as far as impactful players. MVP, I'm not even putting him in the top 5, top 10, obviously. Exactly. I really don't think he's going to be there. But impact, I think he's one of your top 3.
That's how we felt with Jermaine Kearse. When Seahawks had Jermaine Kearse, like that, that's the type of, like, boom, that's like huge for Percy Harvin, like those type
I think
players.
That's
this will be the first time that Lamar Jackson has like I just really like, maybe I'm biased. He's a Colorado Buffalo.
Giving Lamar weapons.
But having, because all he had was Zay last year, really for a wide receiver. And when Zay got hurt, it kind of exposed the gap there. He has Andrews, which is a great tight end. He has a great tight end. He needs some receivers here. He needs a big possession receiver because Zay is small and so is LeJohntay. They're both shorter receivers, but they're fast and they can get open. LeJohntay is pretty much a short possession receiver. I'm trying to tell you guys. He's like a short fat. It's like he's a short speedster possession. He's like slash. I'm trying to wait till you guys watch this kid play. He knows how to get into the soft spots of the defense and make and create space where he can get catches. So I'm trying to tell you guys, this kid, keep an eye on our kid. That's a great pick right there. But anyone else you guys want to talk about? Who else is out there? I know we said something about Abdul from who's playing for the Giants. I know you spoke a little bit about him earlier. What do you think about him, man?
He's going to be, the thing that's going to make him a monster is the fact that he's working around monsters alone. He's playing with Dexter Lawrence, who's probably top 5, top 3 defensive tackle. And then he's playing with, was it Burns? Is it Brian Burns? He's like top 15 edge rusher. They got Kayvon Thibodeau. They got a bunch of edge rushers on their team. Like, that's 3 already, and then he's just the 4th one. They're gonna be monsters if they can just show him how to practice, show him how to train, and then he's going to just take off from there. Their team is built for him to grow.
Absolutely,
it's way better for him.
Yeah, and they've been historically not for a while now. I can't give them, but they were always had a good front forward. That's really what kind of created some of their recent legend, I should say, the most recent.
Always known for the trenches.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, absolutely. You can go back to LT. You can go back to a lot of other different players who play. In the for that defense, they've had some really really good defensive ends and people who rush the quarterback. So yeah, those are some great rookie picks you guys came up with there. Let's hope that they have a very productive season. We didn't bring up Cam Ward. We talked about him last time. Of course, he's probably going to get some PT. I feel like he's going to start, but I wonder how he's going to really play. Yeah. He's going to definitely start. He has some decent receivers over there. You mentioned them last time as well, but let's just see how these rookies pan out. So your rookie, let's say rookie of the year pick, you said Genty, man. You going with Genty, or who you going with?
I think Genty is going to be easy one. I mean, his coach had beast mode. Like he knows how to. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
he learns to run him on the 1 yard line and everything. But he's going to get him. Hopefully, he learned that.
Who you got, LT?
That was cold-blooded, man, but I like it. You know what, man? I'm going to be honest with you. I like Genty as far as the number 1 pick for the award as far as rookie of the year. But if you're talking like somebody that can easily do it, if Cam Ward performs, nobody can catch him. So
he's gonna have the ball in his hand every time.
In my opinion, at this point, because he's the quarterback that's really going to start, right? So it's his award to lose, but Genty can easily win it if he plays like he did in college. If that's an easy transition for him and he hits the holes as hard, he has as good a vision, and he lets it set up right with that team, I think he can win the award. So I think it's going to be between those two pretty clearly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's really hard for me to see anyone else, but there's always a dark horse out there somewhere. You know what I mean? So, I mean, definitely I think between Genty
Jonte, let's go.
The Colts have a tight end, Tyler Warren. He's going to be nasty too, but he's not.
Oh, they got to get a quarterback over there.
He doesn't have a quarterback though. But
they will soon, fellas. They will soon.
That's my sneak fantasy pick right there.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good one right there. I want to keep my eye out for that kid too. We got another thing coming out of the WNBA. This is a tough one to talk about. You know what I mean? But hey, we've been having a number of male fans. I'm pretty sure they're all male.
I'm
guaranteed.
Throwing out, what they call a dildo onto the court. I think you said Sophie Cunningham got hit with one.
Yeah.
I think one of the culprits got caught up. He was actually in court, and I'm not sure what he's gonna plead not guilty. I'm not, probably that's what you normally do, I guess. But plead, and so right now we're going through a situation where this has happened 3 times. What do you guys feel about this? Does this feel like it has an air of sexism to it, or does it feel like? What does this feel like to you guys? We'll start with you, LT.
I think it's trying to get the players to shut up about the equality pay and all that kind of stuff. To be honest with you. And that's just my take on it. I don't think it's right by any means, obviously, and I don't agree with some of the stuff the players are doing either, to be honest with you. But at the same time, whenever you're throwing something on the court at players, you should be in prison, and I mean immediately. Not only that, but if there are other men in that crowd, and you can see these guys that are throwing dildos on the floor, at WNBA games, especially at the players. I don't even care if it's at the players. If you see that crap happening, you ain't a man, brother. If you letting that happen, you're ridiculous at that point. And you know who's throwing it if you're around them in that area. So the fact that there are people actually getting away with this crap is insulting and really kind of crappy, to be honest with you, to kind of see what kind of people are getting away with this.
No,
not a fan of it. Not a fan of it.
Man.
Yeah, it could only be seen as a negative thing like that.
Yeah.
It's because like after the first time it was like, okay, somebody's being stupid, and now it's trying to be a trend. Like multiple people thought it was so cool that they had to do it too. It's never that funny, and it's like a nerd. It's like
that's the same. That's the same thing. Yeah, that's the same thing I was saying too. It's like, to me, my daughter played basketball, and that wouldn't be something that if that happened, I'm going to take that personally. And to me, that's like, I'm probably going to go and put hands on whoever did that. That's honestly what I would do. To me, like, are you serious right now? To me, that's like you're degrading what they are. These are athletes. And the dude who they had in court, you look like you've never played a sport in his life. Look like you're probably afraid to talk to women. That's
professional eating.
This is what it kind of looked like to me. I'm like, you're probably one of those dudes who are so afraid to talk to women, but now this is your opportunity to show out. I can be the guy who catcalls. I can be the guy who throw something on the court and laugh at someone else.
You done bought this thing and was like, well, it's gonna be so.
He's used to being laughed at. You're used to being made fun of, and this is your opportunity to try and hurt and affect someone else. And these are athletes. I saw a thing that Diana Taurasi said. She was like, I walked into the arena. She said, I was the best player in the world at one point in time. Diana Taurasi. I mean, she probably was. Diana Taurasi still was. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. And she said, what? I was making less than the janitor of the arena. And I'm like, man, that speaks volumes. What they're really saying, though, and I can't give correct figures on this exactly, but what they're saying is I think the NBA has like where the NBA players make a certain percentage of what of what, the overall, net pay of whatever is going on right in the league. The WNBA players make like, I think that it might say, just say it's 40% goes to the players or whatever it is. I don't know the correct number, but the WNBA is like 9% or something like that, or something so low. That's what they're probably more asking for. Even though your league, you guys are losing money, you're bleeding, and you're having to be supplemented by the NBA. You know what I mean? To even stay alive, which is, it's smart for the NBA to do it, because you're keeping a fan base involved in a sport, and you're also, you're promoting something different right now. It's gotten to the point to where this is starting to catch on a little bit. You got players like Caitlin Clark. Yeah. You got players like Angel Reese that are starting to bring that. Yeah. They're starting to, I mean, you got the girl she's from Washington Mystics, like Sion or something like that. She's pretty young girl, rookie girl. She's good too. There's going to be a lot. You're going to have your page, like I said, Bucher's page right now is playing. Juju's she's going to be coming out. There's a bunch of other girls as well too. And so they've helped cultivate. It's like the ABA. During the first years of the ABA and NBA, they lost money. They weren't making money. The games weren't making enough money to where they basically would tape the game and then they play it on television. Those games weren't live. The championship had already happened and they played the game on television. That's what they were doing. So, I mean, they merged leagues in order to kind of keep the league solvent. So what they're doing is not unprecedented as far as the NBA helping to keep the WNBA alive. And to me, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think that they're looking at it as we need to be paid the same kind of thing. It is a little wrong to me.
That is a little bit crazy.
That's craziness to me.
Right now, I mean, you can't. Yeah, it's
even a percentage. You can't even say give me a percentage. What do you owe money at that point, because you're losing money? So you can't even get a percentage really. So. I know they're growing. I'm not saying the WNBA is not growing. I think the talent level is getting a lot better every single year. It's like you're saying, it's kind of like that transitional period, kind of like, oh crap, we're seeing some real improvements, right, with the way they're playing the game. It's not just about fundamentals anymore. You're seeing players come in and actually take over games. You weren't seeing that in the WNBA. You maybe had 2 to 3 players across the league that could do that in the past, like the Diana Taurasi's, the Birds, the players like that, right? You don't have that anymore, that problem. You have 20 to 30 to 40 players that can actually ball. I'm talking like different level ball than the rest of the league. And I think that's huge, right? That's showing you the improvements. They're close. They're right there, but they're trying to get all of it right now. That's not going to happen. You still have to improve the league to where it needs to be in order for that to happen. Then those endorsement deals are going to come. Then all that other stuff's going to come. But if you're begging for stuff right now, it's not going to come any faster.
With your top end players making 80 something thousand, maybe I think they're up to 200 something thousand right now. Their top end players are making that. I think they got a new collective bargaining agreement where they're going to start actually being able to pay certain players $1 million upwards, because they got a pretty big deal. But this is new. This is like a 2-year thing, which since Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have come in and actually blew the numbers up, where they can actually sell out arenas and things like that are starting to happen. So I do agree kind of with what you're saying, but for them to get a higher percentage, I don't disagree with that, with them coming with that right there. Like, they want to be able to play so they don't have to go and play in Russia. And now look at Brittany Griner. She had to basically go do almost a year in prison based off the fact that she can't just say, you know what, this is my full-time job. I get it. It's not fully there yet. But the league is still growing. They do need to keep on getting infusions of capital from the NBA to kind of keep going. But I understand where they're coming from. They take it. They just start flying private. I think it was
that's what I was going to touch on. Exactly. They just started getting that, so you can see the improvements, right? Like they're getting more and more things from the league, right? Like they're getting comfort now.
Yeah.
You weren't getting comfort before. You were taking these shitty buses. You were having awful hotels. Just bad stuff happening, right? And you're seeing that happening with the teams. Now you're seeing these private flights, private jets. You're seeing actual travel paid. All the meal plan, everything's being done for these ladies now. They didn't have all that 5 years ago. So there's a huge improvement and a nice gap being taken right now that is taking care of that gap. I think it's going to be filled quicker than they're expecting, but they have to be patient. You just can't go in. It's kind of like you want a promotion, right? You're doing all great for 1 month after doing crappy for 2 years. You go into the office after 1 month of doing great. Do you expect to get that promotion? Probably not. You need to show that involvement over time, over the next couple months, right? Same thing for this process. You're going to have to give it a couple of years of greatness, right? In order to get that improvement, then you can get what you're wanting with that extra pay, that big money, those big contracts. Caitlin Clark's going to get you there. Juju coming into the league soon is going to get you there. Buchers is going to get you there. Reese is going to get you there. Brink is going to get you there. I can go on and on about the new players coming in. They are this close. If they're patient, it's coming.
Right there, yeah. And man, they going through what Bill Russell and them had to go through, but like it's just a lot lighter though. But
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, exactly. Like, like it takes time, and really they might, it might hurt for them, and then they might not even see the benefits of it until the new people come in, and that might, that's gonna suck for them, but they might not see it until the new people come in.
I think a collective bargaining agreement kicks in like a couple of years, something like that. Because they were about to get they got a new television contract, a pretty big new television contract coming. It's just like the NBA got. I mean, not like the same numbers, nowhere near it, but it's going to help them to where they can start actually paying some of these players where they might make $1 million. Players like Caitlin Clark can make $1 million. A player like, a player like Angel Reese can make $1 million in the league. I mean, you got to remember they've had some great players in the WNBA. You got Lisa Leslie, man. You got Cheryl Swoops.
None of the players that I just named are even in the top 10 list that we made.
Yeah.
Which if you haven't checked that out, go check it out.
Absolutely.
It's a great video, but none of the players that we just named are even on the top 10 list right now. And that's my point. Like those players don't have that star power name, right? They just don't, like most of them, right? I mean, if you go into the street, you're not going to see that. They're going to know who Caitlin is. They're going to know who Buchers is. They're going to know who the players that they're pushing. That's what I'm saying. It's just not there yet. They're right there, man. It's like literally right there.
It's probably really hard on their pride to say, I've been busting my tail, this entire time. And then you get this girl comes in who can shoot 3-pointers, and this other girl over here who's pretty much who's kind of got an attitude, kind of, can brings attitude, but brings grit as well. And and now all of a sudden you want to start paying us and flying us private. I've been working my tail off. I'm this person. I can do this too. And I think that's where they're missing the point with that, I think, as well too. I know that they got pride, and they're not gonna let anyone just go shine, go do whatever. Right. And they're gonna play hard. That goes for any sport. Anybody. They did the same thing to Michael Jordan in basketball. Yeah. You know what I mean? They knocked him around, and he was the golden ticket for them, really. I mean, I know
there's a Caitlin rule too.
Yeah,
there's a Caitlin rule, clearly.
No, for sure, 100%.
Definitely. 100%. You know what I mean? I know that Bird and Magic kind of saved the league a little bit, but Jordan's the one that put him over the top. Jordan's the one that made it so that the NBA was global, and it was like, this is what it is, and everyone loves them. It was Jordan, period. Yep. And so, I mean, he had to go through his period. That's why Isaiah Thomas wasn't on the Dream Team, because they made sure that So I mean, 100%. That's why
100%.
I guarantee I get your point. I think that you made a very strong point about that, and they're gonna have to bite. Right now, they feel like they've been biting the bullet for a long time. They're having to go, other places to even make a little bit of extra money. And imagine making $80,000 a year, and you're a professional
athlete. That's crazy.
Yeah, and you got to stay in shape, and you got to perform, and you got
you're spending money on your own body to be.
Yep.
I mean, that's not even you can't even live off that. Imagine you got to travel. Listen, I'm not sure if they get travel costs or whatever, how much they get little per diems too on top of that. Yeah. But man, you got to try. You buy, you know what I mean? Like, man, I got to upgrade my own room. I'm in this little crap room. They got double beds. They got double beds in the room. It's crazy.
Living in studios.
I don't know if they did or not, but you know what I mean? It's bad business, man. But
yeah,
with that, you guys will this is another episode of Plays and Parlays. Unless you guys got anything else you guys want to say? You guys good?
We have another thing.
Go check out the UFC picks that we just put out for UFC with LT. You guys like and subscribe every channel we got. Appreciate y'all.
I know at the same time too, Jalen Miller, has he gotten the game yet? I want to bring it up.
Nah, he's never gotten the game. I mean, it's still halftime. It's halftime right now. So
okay, well, he got time. He got time.
We did actually have one more subject.
Go ahead.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about Jalen. How did we forget about Jalen Hurts here, man? How did we forget about Jalen Hurts, man?
We had some interesting takes that we wanted to share with y'all.
So we've been talking about Jalen Hurts, okay? These two guys right here have some very, very interesting takes on Jalen Hurts. I'm kind of like, me personally, I think Jalen Hurts is a very, very good player. Me personally, I think he is. You know what I mean? But these two right here, for some reason, believe that Jalen Hurts may not be any better than like Tim Tebow or Bo Nix. I want to let you guys speak for yourselves. I don't want to be the person to speak for you. I'm gonna let you guys speak for yourself.
Say, he is a similar player to a Bo Nix or Tim Tebow. I'm not saying he's the same level. I'm just saying if they were also on that team, the Eagles team, the Super Bowl could have been. It was eventual because that team, the offense and the defense, elite at every level. And Jalen Hurts, yeah, he's a great player, but it's not just levels above every quarterback. He's not a Super Bowl quarterback because of that. He was on a team with the number 1 running back, a top 3 receiving core, a top 5 offensive line, and the defense was crazy.
Okay,
that's where it goes.
So you guys are just basically saying that you just don't feel like he's performing. You don't feel like he's an elite quarterback. Very much what you're saying.
You know what? I'll put it to you like this, right? I firmly believe he's in elite status. Okay, you can't say he's not elite. Just the fact that he won the Super Bowl, you can't say that he's not elite. Okay, I say that about every Super Bowl winning quarterback. You are automatically put in a different level at that point because you at least led your team to a Super Bowl, right? The fact of the matter is you don't look at Jalen Hurts and say, oh, he's top 5 in this category. Oh, he's top 5 in this category. You can't really aim to any category besides something like leadership or something like that to where he's a top 5 quarterback. That's where the comparison with those other quarterbacks comes into play, right? Because they're big on the leadership role and that's their role on that team, right? If you look at the Eagles lineup, right? Who do you have on there that if you took Jalen Hurts off, right, and put anybody else in the league that's a starter on that team, are they worse?
Yes, I feel like they are. Me personally, I feel like Jalen Hurts is a leader. I mean, I understand that he may not have the strongest arm in the league. Mm-hmm. He may not be the fastest quarterback in the league. He may not, I think he's one of the best leaders in the league. I agree with that. But he's strong in all those categories though. He has a strong arm. Sure. He's not a weak arm. He's fast, not just enough.
But you're not going to look at him and say, "Oh, he's top 5." You just can't. Unless it's the leadership role, and that's what I'm saying.
Like I'm telling you right now, he didn't throw for 3,000 yards passing
last year.
He didn't.
Well, how many games did he play?
He played 16, 15.
Wes, it's interesting, man, because it might be unfair, right? It could be unfair to me and Man are saying this, and I understand what you're saying by that, because the look, right? It's the eye test to me. Because if you look at Philly, you look at their lineup, I'm telling you, if you look at that lineup, you basically take everything, all the accolades away from the quarterback at that point, because the rest of the team is just so fire, okay? So you're not really giving him the credit that he might deserve, right? And I understand that. And I can see why people are going to say that to this video. I understand that's coming, okay? But it's a legit thing to say, too, at the same time. Because if you take some of those players off of that team and you give him that same opportunity, is he going to be as effective? No, I don't think he is, right? Because those are top tier players at their positions. I'm talking like top 3, top 4, top 5 players at their positions at every other position, right? Especially at running back. You could have handed the ball off 4,000 times last year and won the Super Bowl. Okay. It's just, that's the way it was. He was set up so great last year. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not saying that. I think he is a fantastic quarterback. His leadership ability is really second to none, clearly. Yes. Okay. Because in order to have that many attitudes and that many different kind of mentalities on that team and different kind of egos, he kept all that in check. That shows me right there he is one of the greatest leaders in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
But that doesn't put you on elite status.
Let's say this. He only threw the ball 361 times last year. He was 68% completion, 68.7% completion percentage. You know what I mean? The years before that, he threw the ball 538 and 460, and then 432. I mean, he only really, if you look at it, he came in. He only started 4 games his first season, right? They were 1-3. Next season, he started all 15. They're 8-7.
Yep.
Then the next season, 15 games, 14-1. So yes, they're building a team around him to make him better, but he's performing. This is his second Super Bowl that he's gone to, right? I think he lost the first one. He lost the first one. He went
to the Chiefs.
And so this is the second Super Bowl he went to. This dude's performing. He has a lot less passes that he threw last year, a lot less, higher completion percentage. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand he does have a great team around him. Sure. You go out and get a Saquon Barkley, which anyone could have picked him up. Anyone had opportunity to get him.
That's the crazy part.
But this team did it. This team put it together, and he came out and he showed and proved. Nobody wanted to pay. Nobody wanted to give any money for it. But you know what they did? They said, we're going to ante up. We're going to go ahead and pick up Saquon. People thought that legacy running backs were no longer a thing. They thought that, hey, these guys, we can pick up anybody. Anybody can run behind. I believe that those type of backs are going to come back. The kind of backs that now, okay, this guy's here for 7, 8, 9 years are going to come back sooner or later, because that's what I think we've been lacking, because running backs, we're not getting the respect. And not just to get back into Jalen Hurts as well, but I do believe that, that team's stacked as hell. You know what I mean? They are. Their defense, though, honestly, they have the lowest paid defense in the entire NFL. The lowest. So what are we really saying here? So you can't just say anyone can throw the ball to these guys. It takes someone. You can have really good receivers, but if you don't have a good enough quarterback to get them the ball in the right places, it is what it is. They're not just going. They're not just little boying all the cornerbacks in the league. He has 2 really good receivers, but a lot of times these guys aren't even mentioned in the top receiving name. They're not even mentioned with the top dogs.
But I think he's great. He like I said, I think our point is, I think he's a great quarterback, right? He has the intangibles. Don't get me wrong. I think and I'm not even saying he doesn't deserve to be up there, right? As far as, hey, look, top 5 guy. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, based off of the teams that he's had, it takes away from him, okay, because of the fact of how much he's had help-wise. You get what I'm saying with that?
So do you consider, let me ask this question.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first year he's had Saquon.
Yeah.
And he came in second for MVP a few years back. Mm-hmm. He came in second to MVP. He's never thrown for 4,000 yards. That's one thing, but but his completion percentage is high enough to say that maybe maybe either he's throwing shorter passes or whatever the case may be. But a receiver cannot make a quarterback better, but you can't. Look at Devontae Adams when he went to the Raiders. Look at Randy Moss and went to the Raiders.
Sure.
They can't, if you can't get them the ball, they can't produce. It takes a quarterback to be able to get them the ball. It takes an offensive coordinator to understand how to get him the ball, of course. And it takes a quarterback to be able to deliver it. So, I think we're taking away from him. I think that we're taking a lot away from him to say that, because before they didn't have Saquon Barkley, they still went to the championship without him. That was the year you had when you got a healthy Mahomes, and they're probably, their defense was even worse that year. But I don't remember what the score was in that Super Bowl, but you went. You still went though. It wasn't like, probably was he a third-year player?
People want to play for this guy. That's another thing you got to look at, right? With Jalen Hurts, and that's why I say his leadership and it just alone makes him on the elite status, right? Is because of that. People want to play with him.
Even with him not having a running back, like when he didn't have Saquon, their O-line was so good that their running backs
were cold. Yeah.
Their running backs were disgusting. They had a year where they got Miles Sanders. That might have been the Super Bowl year. I don't know, but they had a year they had Miles Sanders going for over 1,000 yards, and Miles Sanders is where I don't know where he's at right now.
Hurts also uses this as fuel too. Don't get it twisted, okay? Because he's always been bet against. Let's go over this real quick, right? At Alabama, right? Alabama wins a national title, okay? Loses how many games? 2 over 3 years, or 2 years, whatever it was, 2 or 3 years. Goes to the freaking SEC championship game, then goes to the national title again, all right? Gets benched during the national title for who? Tua. Gets chosen as the backup from there on out, comes back the next season, wins the SEC title for him against Georgia, and some, basically coming back on and getting back into it, comes and wins them that game, gets them to the national championship, and then they give the ball back to Tua, which is rightful. I get that. But he earned himself a switch over to Oklahoma. What does he do at Oklahoma? He wins at Oklahoma, goes to the Final Four, okay, gets trounced by LSU. I get that. That's one of the greatest college teams ever. We don't have to get into that. Okay, 2019 LSU. Shout out, baby. I got y'all. Joe Burrow. Let's get it.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So anyway, Hurts, dude's a winner. Okay. All
Yeah.
he's done anywhere is win. And I think that's where we were talking about as far as Tebow-esque and things like that. You're a leader and you bring that winning gene with you, right? No matter where you go.
The numbers
But
won't speak
he
for
takes
you.
it further because he actually has some of the intangibles that Tebow didn't have. Okay. As far as vision and things that he can read a defense too. Don't get it twisted. Hurts is a smart QB. He doesn't make unnecessary mistakes, but he's not a game manager either. Don't. I hate it when people say he's a game manager. He's not a game manager.
Yeah.
He's better than that. He's somewhere in between line between playmaker and game manager. He's right there in the middle. He toes that line. He'll give you that game manager game to where he throws for 100 yards, but he'll give you that playmaker game to where he'll throw for 300. It's just what he does. Whatever you need him to do, he'll do. And I think that's what he's doing right now. He's back. He backed off last year.
Has that too.
Yeah.
Because Bo Nix has that ability too.
Right now I got to see Bo Nix do this in a season. I think he managed the game great. He managed the games great last year. Don't get me wrong, but I need to see like this year, can he actually be sort of a game changer at the same time? Can you step up and be that next level to where if we got into a shootout, can I count on you you can get me a touchdown in 2 minutes? And I don't see him doing that. I just don't see that from him at all.
Could he count on anyone on his team? I don't think he could count on one player on his team to do that. If he had AJ Brown, yes, he could do that. If he had Devontae Smith is a number one receiver on a lot of teams.
Either one of those two, I would say. Either one of those
98% of teams, yes.
Yeah. If I have less than 3,000 yards with those two receivers, it's kind of a crazy it's a crazy year to have that, and that's what Jalen Hurts had. He had those two receivers and had less than 3,000 yards.
But it goes back to it, right? He didn't have to. There wasn't a need for him to really be
2,000-yard running back. He had a 2,000-yard running back at that point in time. A 2,000-yard running.
With two number
but that
one
goes
receivers.
with what we're saying too, right? That goes with what we're saying.
2,000-yard running back with two number one receivers.
But what does that say about him as well? People had to be worried about the throwing game because you could have just stacked the line. If Jalen Hurts wasn't a threat,
you can't stack the line with AJ Brown and
Philly's not a team that you can stack. They're not a team that you could bring up a linebacker or you could cheat up a safety. They're not that team.
O-line, and then that O-line is still top.
This is what I'm gonna say.
No flaw.
I think that I can't remember who Tebow had. I'm not sure if he had Brandon Marshall, who he had on that team. I can't remember for sure.
Thomas. He had Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas.
He had some pretty good receivers on that team.
Eric Decker, I think maybe.
He won a playoff game.
But what I'm saying is, you can stack the line on them. You can stack the line on them with Demaryius Thomas. You can compare one of those two to him. Easy all day in America. Demaryius Thomas was filthy.
I could see that.
1,500 yards. He was going to go out and get money for you. He was big, strong receiver, fast. The whole nine. So that speaks volumes about if I can stack the line with Tebow, I understand we did not compare them directly. We said that he can actually make plays as well too. So we got to give his credit for that. Like, you can't stack the line on this guy because he can throw the ball. He has, so that's just my take on him. I agree with you guys. I'm not disagreeing because he's not Joe Burrow. He's not Patrick Mahomes. But at the same time, I think that he's much more than just a game manager as well.
Funny you mentioned Joe Burrow. Because I was thinking about something a second ago when we were going over Shedeur Sanders. People are going to think I'm crazy for saying this, and I really don't care. Okay, y'all can come at me however y'all want to come at me for this. Okay. He reminds me of a Joe Burrow style, okay, as far as Shedeur. I think that is my comparison as far as accurate quarterbacks to him right now in the league. I really do think that's the closest comparison. I know Man had one that's right on it too. I think these are the two perfect comparisons for Shedeur.
I say he's like Geno. I love Geno with him because the waiting in the pocket, the sneaky athleticism, the percentage of like the good throws. So
Geno, he's got that arm, he's got that swagger of Burrow. Like it's there's certain things, man, that just remind me of Burrow whenever I look at him.
Leadership of Burrow, I like that a lot. I think it's gonna be tough though.
And you look at Burrow. I mean, I think he played. I mean, I think he started every game in 2020 season. I think he did it. That was the COVID year. So maybe they had a short. Did they have a shortened season that year? I can't remember. But like in 10 games, it looked like he was available for all 10 games. He started all 10 games. And that was really like his rookie season. He had 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, threw for 2,600, almost 2,700 yards, 65% completion percentage. Next year, 70% completion percentage, 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. And he just, 4,400 yards. Then he had 23. Then he got hurt in 23. Then he had 4,900 yards last year, 43 touchdowns. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the year wasn't that great. They're 9-8, but he's a big dog out there. I can see that's the kind of production I would like to see from a Shedeur. I think to me he reminds me of he reminds me kind of almost like a Peyton Manning to a degree. You know what I mean? Just a cerebral, like kind of
vision.
I mean the way that he and kind of the ball that he throws almost, because Peyton never threw a really great tight spiral all the time. And Shedeur doesn't really throw that. It's kind of a little wobbler. He's more mobile than a Peyton, but he's more, if you look at him, the way they arranged, I know we're getting back into him, the way they arranged the offense around him last year at Colorado was kind of like, because with Peyton, remember he got mad, I think it was the punter or somebody like that, he told him shut up and just kick the ball, because he was like, why don't you run the ball, do something different, because he's always audible and for him to throw the ball somewhere.
That was Saturday.
Yeah, that Saturday. Was that the lineman?
He looked at Saturday. He was like, "Shut up and snap the ball."
But that's like if you look at Colorado's team, it was built around throwing the football. Period. Maybe they knew they couldn't run, but at the same time, there was no effort to run. He was like, you know what? 40 times a game, I'm throwing the rock. You know what I mean? But I'm a hit for 70% though, 72, 70. I think he had like 74% completion percentage, which is crazy. You know what I mean? But so I know I get where you're going with that. Those are some great comparisons, man. Great comparisons, man.
Burrow, he does throw that. He throws them up. Yeah, he throws it like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because that's all they got. Really, they got rid of what's the guy's name? Running back? I can't remember. One more time. Mixon. Yeah, they got rid of Mixon, and that was pretty much. That was a wrap for the running game. I mean, now all of a sudden, now they're 9-8, though. That speaks volumes. You get rid of your running game, you're 9-8. You threw for 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns. There's no way you should be.
Nothing. Their defense don't got. They just.
They're bad.
You see their rookie. He went back to college. He went back to college.
Did he?
They drafted him first round. They didn't want to.
Yeah, he said no.
He just went back to college.
Yeah.
He got drafted first round.
And they're in a really tough division, right? I mean, look, you got the Steelers, you got Lamar, you got Tomlin, who's a Hall of Fame coach at the Steelers.
We're not going to give him room to. We're not going to give. I mean, we can't give this kid room. We're going to put him up there top 5 quarterbacks, I'll give him that. Mm-hmm. And he gets to sling the ball like he wants to sling the ball. You got to win. You were 9-8 last year. 9-8. Both of your receivers got paid. I think they both make it over $100-something million a year.
Oh,
not
this
a year,
is the year.
$100 million contract.
They're going to have to go deep this year.
You know what I mean? It's just like, I know he probably got paid too. I mean, so if you're going to be offensive oriented, you knew you weren't going to have a defense you were going to be able to pay any money to. You knew this. You're not the last. You're not like the Eagles or the Rams. They're both paying their defense like $60-something million total. You got teams like, I think it's the Steelers are like 100, and they're paying their defense 170 million. I think Denver's like 140 something $million that we're paying our defense. So I mean, you knew, you kind of knew.
Eagles drafted amazingly. That's why they're so cheap, because Jalen Carter, he was supposed to be the number 1 pick until he had like a car accident or something. He had some car accident where his teammate died.
You're right about that.
He dropped from number 1 to number 9.
That's what they said.
I wanted to get him, but then I wanted us to get him, but then we got Witherspoon, great pick still, but
no, that's what they said too. They said that what it was they have a lot of young players who have not yet come into their contracts. They've been able to defer, get a lot of defer. The Bengals, $106 million. The fourth lowest.
Their backup is getting minimum. Their backup quarterback's getting minimum. Okay, and he got drafted a year, 2 years ago, and he went off today. 252 yards, 20 for 25, 2 touchdowns, played incredible. Like the Eagles have a roster.
Absolutely. Eagles is going crazy.
You would say that if Shedeur does go to Indianapolis, they're the third. They got the third highest, most expensive defense, $147 million a year. I mean, so hopefully they got a decent defense over there.
If Shedeur go to the Colts, they got a team. That's all.
I've said this. I'm
They got a
telling y'all,
team.
like
They
that is
do
the
got a
setup.
team.
That is the
Adnan
setup,
Mitchell,
man.
Adnan Mitchell, Tyler Warren, what's Jonathan Taylor. The offense is there. The offensive line too. With what's his name? Nelson. I don't remember their offensive line.
They got a line.
Mhm.
They got a lot over there. That's what I'm saying.
His
They're
name's
set
Nelson.
up except for quarterback. Like
Yeah.
that's what
So
they need.
It's not gone. And they got a couple of DBs and everything, but golly, you can't just trade a guy like Shedeur.
It just doesn't make sense to me. It's crazy.
If you're the Browns, you gotta win.
You can't, but you're going to. Okay, you've done nothing but stupid choices for years. They're not going to stop now. It's not going to happen. All right, they're known to do this crap. It's just going to happen.
How do you convince Myles Garrett? Hey man, like just stay for another couple, and then you're just like, actually, throw it all away.
I think it's going to be let's
because you don't want to be wrong as a GM. I'll add that to it. You don't want to be wrong, and you already picked your backup, right? You're not going to come into this and go, "Oh, well, we made a mistake. We're going to get rid of Dillon. We're going to keep Shedeur." That's not going to happen. Okay, that's going to show that the GM messed up. Okay, they're not going to do that.
What they say the GM, because Stefanski is the one who wanted Dillon. He's the one who wanted the GM's the one who wanted Shedeur.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've come out and said. I mean, Stefanski's like, he's high on Dillon. Dillon's smart. And that's why he's getting pushed ahead so much further, because he's the head coach. The GM's just a guy who helps pick you're basically managing, helping pick the players.
The GM builds the team.
Coach. Yeah, along with the coach.
GMs build the teams.
Yeah.
Like that, they'll take the coach's input. GMs are the ones with the final say.
Yeah. And for him to have allowed him to pick up Dillon Gabriel, I mean,
it was a mistake.
I think it was a mistake too, but I mean, I think that Stefanski's willing to die on that heel.
By the way, not saying Dillon Gabriel is bad. I think he's a good quarterback. I do not think that's a good fit for him at all.
I'm not seeing where's a good fit for him at all. I mean,
he's not a bad quarterback. He's just a backup quarterback.
He's a great backup quarterback. Yeah. He is a great backup.
McCoy. That's Colt McCoy right there. He's
100%.
He's just not that. Yeah, he's gonna stay as that. I don't know what Joe Monroe is doing right now. Are
they letting him play? Is he in?
He's playing.
He's in the game.
2 for 3, 12 yards. I just don't know where.
Well, he already has
12 yards. 2 for 3, 12 yards. Hey, we're gonna let you go ahead and get to the game. I know you want to watch the game and see what's going on with him. We're gonna let you guys get to the.
He ran the ball one time, 5 yards.
Okay. I'm saying, look, he got 17 yards total offense right now. He's doing his thing. Can't take it from him. And with that, folks, this is your episode of Plays and Parlays. I'm your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, the Guru LT, and my man. And this is Plays and Parlays. See you next time.
Later, guys.